USAID. It's one of the biggest scam in the world. Not just a scam, guys. It's actually a crime against humanity, democracy, and the will and wish of the people. Let's look into it. Welcome to Raghulan. Thank you for all the love and support. If you like my videos, subscribe to the channel. And this video is sponsored by armorodo.com. You can find a lot of cool products in it. If you're doing traveling, touring, trekking, adventure sport, you might find products of your interest. And before we get started, keep the comment polite. Keep it respectable so people can argue and we can learn from each other. And that is how, if you look at all my videos on all my channels, generally you will find all those comments are very sensible and very intelligent. And make sure there is no hate or sarcasm, because people are going to throw it at you. I'm not going to tolerate those ones. And then profanity will be used by dumb people, and I don't want them in my channel, so I'll be deleting those. Don't waste your energy. USAID. So it's a pretty cool scheme, guys. Just look into it. Eligibility criteria to get money, it's free money for around the world. All you have to do is you have to be in Europe, in Asia and Africa, and you just have to hate the country that you live in, and you desperately want to destroy it, desperately want to destroy the culture and tradition, and the money is yours. And what you have to do is just sit there and do something which disrupts their culture and tradition, such as conducting an pride rally, LGBTQ activism, basically influence wrong parties, which basically is not interest of the country. And by all means, while you're sitting there, you're being protected by the armed forces who die on a daily basis to protect you, while the country is providing you medical and health care and education for your kids and the roads and all of these infrastructure for you. And you get all the money from USAID to destroy the same country which is giving you all of these things for greed. What they have done, what happened? Now, if you look at it, US President Trump, once he came into power, so he ordered Doge to look into USAID, which is around giving money to a lot of these countries. So they basically, Elon Musk went there and fired all of those 8,000 people. Usually, I used to feel bad for whenever there is a layoff, because I'll be sad, okay, how these people is going to manage their family and expenses and their kids' life and all that. But now I don't really feel sad. I feel pretty satisfied looking all those 8,000 people going home. The reason being is they conducted around 60 missions across 100 nations. Is to destabilize those democracies and disrupt those cultures and traditions. I'll be going through all of those things what they have done. This is just a very small list. There is a huge list out there, but I'm just going to take some and then giving you as an example. So 8,000 people sat there working all their ass off for the last 40-50 years, destroying people's life and traditions and cultures, which basically means everything to them. I'll be going one by one. First thing is $21 million. That's the recent one for the India, increasing water input. But technically there is more have given. One is they funded a South Indian factory in close to Chennai, a fertilizer factory. But every time they give a fund, they also come with some conditions. The condition is okay, we'll give you a fund, but make sure there is no other Indian fertilizer factories around you, and you'll be one of the primary supplier and things like that. So that's an agenda which basically kills an Indian interest as well. And India rejects some of those investments in the South as well. And Bangladesh, $29 million for regime change. Sheikh Hasina has been sent out because of that funding. I don't really be in support of any politician, guys. They are like diapers. We need to change them once in a while. Don't let them stay there for too long. Doesn't matter who it is, they will not be in the interest of the country. And next is Nepal. It's a very small country, but they got around $20 million for physical federalism. That is to strengthen the union government so that weaken the state government, so the power goes into one hand. So people will start disliking it, and there will be a lot more protest and riots in the country. So the country will be destabilized. Poor politicians, they don't understand, so they got the money and they were doing it. So democracy, it's basically focusing on democracy to be killed. And Siberia, $1.5 million for an LGBTQ activism. And then Ireland, $70,000 for DEI music event, which is again another LGBTQ event. And Guatemala, $2 million for sex change operations and LGBTQ activism. And $10 million for Al-Qaeda. And that money was actually scheduled for Syrian refugees for food and medicine humanitarian aid. But that money was then given to the Al-Qaeda terrorist group. And Pakistan for school constructions. None of them happened. And Pakistan FIF and Lashkar-e-Taiba, they received around $170,000. Just one amount. There will be more as well. And Cuba for Zunzunia app, which is a very popular app for music and social media. And later they actually focused on activism and LGBTQ, and that app was actually banned in Cuba. Then Peru, sterilization of women in the 90s, and $32,000 for transgender comic book for kids, for babies. I don't know what to say it. And Peru, again, a lot more stuff happened in Peru as well. And Brazil, funding has gone to anti-abortion activism as well. And Colombia, $47,000 for transgender opera. That's just a show to promote transgenderism and LGBTQ. And there is more. This is just one. There is 60 more missions that have happened in all 100 countries. So one thing we have to know, guys, this is what happened. But there is a lot more planning that has gone before this has happened. That means there was some planning. There was someone sitting there, not group of people who says that, okay, we need these things to happen in these countries because we want something else to happen. And that is why, Illuminati might be a conspiracy theory. But now if you look at it, what USAID has done, they purposely orchestrated and they purposely executed specific missions so that, it changes the demography of the country, it changes the culture and tradition of the country so that something else can happen in future. And look at how long-term vision people have to doing bad stuff. I don't know, guys. Politicians, think about it. Before you get any of these monies, NGOs, you think about it. The country where your NGO is running, where your family is, if you're going to follow this greed and you're going to destroy the same very place that you loved and you lived. So think about it. We'll catch up in another video, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers.